this time period, the eagle is such and such and such and such according to people. Oh, it's a great big majestic bird. It's beautiful. It hunts. It doesn't prey on anything. It's very admired. Um, the next era comes along. The eagle's not as big. Very wild animals anyway. They don't really have breeding structure and stuff like that. Other lessons that are implemented during time periods and stuff. Then this, and the thing was that, a lot of the ways that naturally species breed, without having any kind of integrity about refraining from breeding with another for the purpose of sustaining a better or fuller, more beautiful population, etc., etc. Basically, there would be like the prime lives remaining, and this really, really, very, very often led to masculine dominance of earning that prominence as specific individuals in the general population. Because if it were females, they would essentially be like raped back to back to back to back, and or be giving birth back to back to back to back, and they would be like a blob of just like being abused to have children kind of thing going on. Some civilizations tried to carry that. It doesn't work out that well. And it's not like the females were like used as genetic resource that could be like stripped clean of any special breeding or anything like that. The big thing was that technically it was all inbreeding, and it would be more like trying to collectively piece together somebody prestigiously special, while the rest of the people kind of got like the Jewed out outcome and stuff, and it really wasn't good. But anyway, that's kind of what other species are like naturally, that are like wild and stuff. So a lot of times you'll find that eventually they'll stop breeding and stuff like that, because it's just like they're just going to be smaller or something like that, or something bad's going to happen, and it's just like a natural instinct thing from being a surviving species for so long or whatever, though they don't really. Anyway, the big thing is that they learned from the hieroglyphs that different things which occur because of life to life to life to life situations and scenarios are the reasons that there are much more facets about life to learn than it being just like a straight line worth of information. nothing is as concrete as this species has this kind of personality, this species has this kind of personality, and that's kind of like the rudimentary, crude basis of beliefs that some of these apprentices had, and they were mostly the ones that were like revolting. So, needless to say, used hieroglyphics to teach and everything like that, and then all the way into now, it's kind of like the very same ones would try to still play the collective or be the collectives, the collectionists or whatever, and then everybody else was like pretty much poverty stricken genetically or whatever. And this huge factor is because of another revolt from the ancient world against teaching the Egyptians the better way of comprehending. And basically it still leaves a theoretical limitation aloft in people's minds and beliefs. Whereas, like, it's not one straight line. There could be many different directions and many different forks of the road. It's a little sad to talk about, yeah. Where I was going, the better thing to comprehend is that strictly there is a from the wild capacity of general genetic authenticity and capability populations to fulfill. The big thing is technically and all of that, it's not really my genus population which is developing or learning or going through that development. Basically, the thing was that there's a genus which encompasses many species. And it is developed in a way that it's to encompass that there are many different facets of living in the genus. A genus often will flat out reject possibilities from being lives. Other genus will flat out try to steal other genus butaneities and so on and so forth. It would be like this genus has like all these like real big, strong, badass people, and then this genus has all these like really, really quick-witted thinkers or stuff like that, or those beautiful people, or all these specific-looking people, whereas specific-looking people wasn't really supposed to be something that was like advertised about, propagated. Anyway, the point was that it is not to attempt to form a single super powerful special being, but it is to develop a very, very prominent and prestigious and extravagant community, wherein still doing that, it is to not breed with in specific scenarios, whereas people often will end up thinking that there are more not twos than there are two, and they will not quite comprehend the fact that they're pretty much circle surrounded or whatever by lives that they really shouldn't breed with or mingle with for the positive nature or whatever of their general genus, which is essentially genus is the goal of not being a family. Well, it's the goal of being more of a complexion of families that sustains and survives without problems, rather than being just like this one big family that's essentially circling the drain. And doesn't survive, and then is like kicked back and other species and stuff and whatever. And they just don't want to migrate, and that's like the big problem. They don't want to move somewhere. They don't want to migrate. They don't want anything like that going on, and it's like a big thing. Like it's a big thing in our genus that males and females migrate. I don't know, don't sit there and live in like the same city over and 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 over again until you're choking on your own breath, kind of thing. But anyway, like I was saying, that those Egyptian individuals, specific figures, and it's best not to refer to them as consciousnesses, because they're just not consciousnesses. The word is the bad word. It's not an accurate word to use. Identities. And right before I go ahead and end this video, another big word is the word entity. Whereas commonly, anything ENT prefixated is fashioned to be an entertainment